another episode of Wrestle Talk. I appreciate each and every one of y'all being here today. We're going to be doing a little bit of C1W. We got some people coming in, some special people here. The Mr. Dalton Blake, one half of the World Tag Team Champions for C1W, is going to be here today. Also, I've got Mr. Gabe Walters and the Gabe Walters family. Some people from there. Cameron Coxx is going to be here with him today for this beautiful episode that's coming out. I hope you guys are along for the ride and for the join. But before we get started, we got some partnerships we got to talk about and get through here. Of course, if you guys are looking to podcast and looking to broadcast, we are also sponsored by the beautiful mic there, the Presonus Revelator. So it's actually the current one that I'm using. As you can see, I've got it set up front and center right here. It is my mic, my personal mic that I'm using for all these broadcasts. Everything that you hear coming through is coming directly through that Revelator mic. And they've got it ran on a special right now. They dropped it from $179 down to $99, and now it's down to $59 and it's coming with a ton of software too. Ton of software for you guys to get up and going with. So it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be special just for you if you get it. Also, guys, we've got a right here, sponsored by Temu as well. If you want to get an additional 30% off of anything, if you're looking for an HD camera, if you guys are looking for electronics, you're looking for something for your home, you go to temu.com, you put in that link right there and enter that promo code TAW3. That will get you that additional 30% off of everything that's going through there. And also, guys, if you love this cast and you want to see more of it grow and become bigger and have things get more equipped just for you guys, you can help the stream out and help us keep on the air. Every little bit that you give that we're using right now, $1,000 a year to do this, and we're coming up on that time where we're going to have to renew. If you all can give anything that help us out greatly to keep us on the air for the next little bit. So we've got some other things planned out here today. We've got, like I said, some Championship One wrestling that's going to be going on that we're going to be talking about. I am your host, the Nerdy, a Rabid Beaver. I hope each and every one of you enjoy yourselves out here today, and I hope that we have a great show for you. So without further ado, we're definitely going to get into it. So on last Saturday, I went to the actual show, was out there with them, having fun at C1. And I'm going to tell you, it's definitely a family-friendly place. You can bring the kids. You can have a little intermission. You can get you some snacks. You can do all sorts of stuff, and you're going to have a great time by showing up to C1W anytime you go out to their show. So it's definitely a great place to be, especially if you're in the Cleveland, Chattanooga, the Athens area. It's not too far to drive for you guys. They produce great stuff. Normally open around 7 o'clock. Show normally starts at 8 on Saturdays. Pricing varies, so if you definitely get out with them and come on down, it'll definitely be a good thing for you guys to be there. So how are you all doing tonight? I want to welcome each and every one of you here. Thank you guys for coming in and being a part of the broadcast with us. We're trying to get this thing right. Wrestling is definitely near and dear to my heart. I hope it's near and dear to your heart. And like I said, we had a lot of stuff happen at that show last week. Mr. Dalton Blake went through the ringer last week, man. He had it. He had a good promo. He brought the Stud Budz back together. They were going at it really good. They got in a great match, had a great little tag team match, and I don't know what happened. Mr. Reese decided for some reason he was going to turn on him. We're going to get to the bottom of that tonight. What happened? Why is there animosity? What's the problem there? How can they coexist? Is there a way for them to coexist in this wrestling business? So we're going to get into that. We're definitely going to find out. And without further ado, our first guest, one half of Team Champions, has decided to join us here, Mr. Dalton Blake. Mr. Dalton, how are you doing tonight?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. So we got to kind of start at the beginning here with you. So I want to know how you met Mr. Reese, how you all decided that you were going to become a tag team, and how it's been going so far up to date.
Well, originally it started out fine. Had a couple of issues. Back in September, I think it was 2nd, I came out after one of his matches, and I saw some potential in him. And from there, we kind of just hit it off. You know, I became his manager. A couple of weeks go by, and I realized that I saw more in him and the only way I could get to him was to become his tag team partner. Uh, we did that. We were tag team partners for a while, and in October 28th, we had our steel cage matches, in which we took the C1W Tag Team Championship belts from the Adams family and became C1W Tag Team Champions.
So whenever you became the tag team champions, everything started working and clicking for you well. Once it started clicking, you guys are the well-oiled machine that you are. You're going through some matches. You're defending those titles. You're being successful in defending those titles. What happened? What happened to where it changed?
I never did get a clear answer on that. I messaged him. I called him. I sent emails, and he just we were good friends outside of the wrestling business. And all of a sudden, we make plans and he doesn't show up, or we, have a match and he doesn't show up to that match. We also were in the Cleveland Christmas Parade, which he was supposed to be there, and no-showed me there as well. So things kind of started falling apart there. He finally showed up this last Saturday, and we kind of talked about it in the ring about what was going on, why he's not showing up. And we kind of made up. We had our match that night, and we retained the C1W Tag Team Championship belts. And as we're celebrating, he comes up behind me, hits me with the belt, and leaves me laying.
And he cut like a little bad thing there too. He said, "Hell's coming." Like he's going to be determined to make sure that hell is there for you.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what he means by that. From my standpoint, I don't believe I've done anything wrong. I know he did get a little upset a couple of weeks ago before he started showing up. We were in a match together. I can't remember the opponents, but I hit his signature spine buster on an opponent. Got ready to go for the pin. He tags himself in, gets the pin himself, and then throws the belt at me and walks out.
Well, that's definitely a turn for the worse, especially in your case, in your opinion, especially where you've come from, what you've succeeded with, and how you've tried to move forward on that.
Right. I mean, people who have been coming to C1W for a while know that I used to own C1W. And then Kevin, which is our announcer now, and actually our owner now, he had me come to the conclusion that if I want to focus on, making Race the best he can be, I need to focus on him and not the business. Therefore, I signed over majority ownership to Kevin.
Right.
So, I mean, I've given up my business for Race. I've given up my time and effort for Race, and that's how I was treated.
And that's an awful way to be treated, especially when you're trying to hold your end of the bargain up. You're trying to do everything you can to be successful in the business, and you're trying to make sure that you're holding it up. And as you said, you cut a promo there where you're saying you're the only one. You're the only one that was showing up to the events. You're the only one that was defending the titles. So is there a way that this can be fixed? Do you think he's willing to work on it with you to make sure that the tag team is successful and stays successful? Or where do you see yourself going from this point in time forward?
I am very forgiving. I've given Race multiple chances to make up for what he's done. I shouldn't. Now that I realize what was going to happen, I should not have given him those choices or those chances. But you live and you learn. I don't think that this can be made up. It's just turned into a huge mess, and I hope he knows that payback's coming, and payback's coming hard, and it's not going to be fun for him. And him as my former, almost basically best friend inside and outside of the wrestling business, I don't think he realizes what he's done. Not just inside the ring, but outside of the ring. There's consequences to what he's done.
Right, absolutely. And as he said, there's hell to pay. Well, that works both ways. Whenever you double cross somebody, there's always hell to pay on the other end, because you don't know when, you don't know how, you don't know why, but it's going to come back to you somehow, some way, because people don't forget what's done to them. So there is something that's coming, and it's just going to be a matter of when or why.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't see a reason for him to act the way that he did, but that's in the past now, and he needs to be more afraid about his future than his past at this moment.
I absolutely agree with you. I think that was a huge mistake on his part to do that to you. You said that you were having trouble with him answering his phone. He was just ducking you. He was staying out of the way from you. How can you be a cohesive tag team unit? How can you work together properly if you're going to stay away from somebody who's supposed to be there to have your back, run the roads with you, make sure that you're taken care of? When you're hurt, they're supposed to be there beside you to guard you. That's your best friend, your pal. And it's turning out to be something that it shouldn't be. This is turning out to be a pure hatred rivalry.
Right, exactly. And, you know, when he didn't show up for our match against 2/3 of the standard, AJ Black and Jaden Vane, I basically defended those titles by myself until, you know, just the last couple of seconds when AMJ showed up and, you know, basically saved my tail and saved those C1W Tag Team Championships to go into the standard, basically. And I really do appreciate him for what he's done. And I just, where do you go from here? You know, you can't have a tag team being one person.
Absolutely. So you definitely can.
I think for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to try to get to the bottom of what's going on with Race and hopefully find another tag team partner, because, I mean, we're still C1W Tag Team Champions. I don't know how that would work if he cannot stand me, and at this point now I cannot stand him.
Well, better things have come together in wrestling. The two arch enemies have always come together, and sometimes it works out for them and sometimes it doesn't. But with the heat that you've got against one another, I don't think that you all can be a cohesive unit. So there's only a couple things that can happen. One is the titles have to be dropped, which I don't think that's an option. You know, I really don't believe that that's the option there. I think that you all should fight for it and fight it out until you actually lose it. Or the second option is, like I said, fight it out until you actually lose it and try to work as a cohesive team together and let your animosity build inside that ring against one another. I don't know how well it will work. I mean, that's a tough place to be. That's a hard place to be, especially coming from both sides of this. You know, you're fighting with somebody who used to be your friend, who used to have your back, who used to have it, and he turns on you over something stupid. I went through that with a tag team partner myself, and it was over a woman. He turned over me over a woman, man. And you know, that makes it even worse, because not only does he have your pride, but he's got your joy too. So, and you guys are kind of in the same boat, except it's with tag team championships. They're your pride and joy, and they're the ones that are going to be ready for you.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't think there's any way to resolve this other than inside the ring. It's far beyond forgiving him.
Absolutely, I agree. Hey, and we have Gabe Walters, the greatest manager that you've got coming through here, and he's saying that he's wanting to talk to you. He's a little bit ready to get on. Are you ready to talk to Mr. Gabe Walters and Mr. Cameron Coxx?
Whatever. You can bring them all. I don't care.
All right. There they come, guys. Gabe Walters, Cameron, thank you guys for coming on the podcast. I appreciate everything you guys doing and coming in for us. I do have to ask some questions here. First, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Gabe. You've got a stipulation set up, career versus career, and that's with Mr. Luke Patterson. So how do you see yourself moving forward with career versus career? Because this could be ending for you, and it could be a bad thing for you.
Man, let me tell you this much, Mark. I'm sorry, I mean Joseph.
That's
Joseph, right. Yeah, all right, Mark. Look, there's no way that luscious Luke Patterson is ever going to be able to rid the professional wrestling business of the manager of champions. Gabe Walters is here to stay, and I'm going to tell you one thing. There's no way. It's not going to happen. I will do anything and everything it takes If I have to get in that ring myself and beat Luke Patterson and Frenchie Riviera to within an inch of their non-centerfold lives, I'll do it. But you know what? That's the great thing about the Gabe Walters family. I don't have to do it because I've got the main event. I've got the Pied Piper of professional wrestling, Mr. Cameron Coxx. Cameron, what do you think about Luke Patterson in the career versus career match on December 30th?
Just a little bit of a history lesson. A few years ago, some of you may not know this, but I looked up to Luke Patterson and Frenchie Riviera as role models, someone that I wanted to grow up to be. But then one day I woke up, smelled the coffee, and realized that they're stuck in the past, dwelling on things that have passed them and things that'll never happen again. And that's why I'm promising there will be no Luke Patterson. There will be no Frenchie Riviera ever stepping foot in a wrestling ring again. They can dwell on their past all they want.
You're going to guarantee that. You're going to guarantee it here tonight.
I guarantee it, and the Pied Piper always keeps his promises.
And you heard it here first, guys. The Pied Piper is making a promise, and he keeps his promises. So I want to ask you too, Mr. Pied Piper, Cameron Coxx, if Luke Patterson beats you, what stipulation does this add to you?
There is no if.
Nope.
There is no if. Because like I said, I keep my promises. If I have to cause as much chaos as I'm willing to do, I will. He's not going nowhere. TK ain't going nowhere. And I sure as hell ain't going nowhere. Now, Luke Patterson and Frenchie Riviera, on the other hand, they're going to be long gone.
To the old folks home with them, Joseph. Hey, shut up when I'm talking, pal. You invited me on this podcast. So you're going to treat me with the respect that I deserve, man.
Yes, sir.
Quit asking Cameron Coxx stupid-ass questions. Like, what's going to happen when you lose? He ain't losing. And Dalton, this Saturday night, December 16th, man, first let's start with your style. You see, I've got a brand new $800 leather jacket here. You look like a prisoner of war over in Afghanistan waiting to be beheaded. All right? Yeah, swallow it, Dalton. Swallow it all. This Saturday night, you're going to get to meet in the ring the killer, TK Arden. And here's a blockbuster for all of you at C1W. The newest member of the Gabe Walters family, the Tennessee Stud, Ray Steele.
Wow,
and he's going to
stop
a hole in you. Shut up. And he's going to stop a hole in you so deep that when you shout out, hey, y'all, all you going to get is an echo, buddy.
Y'all are some of the dingiest people I've ever seen.
Dingiest?
Yeah, dingiest.
Looks like you haven't taken a bath in months, buddy, just to be honest with you.
Look at there. Beautiful. Way more handsome than Dalton Blake.
That could be debatable. I've seen Dalton Blake's groupies.
Me too. Dalton, you look like the Wish and Temu version of Oscar the Grouch. That's how dingy you are. All right?
That's not very nice, Gabe.
We said we were nice.
We're truthful, Dalton. And this Saturday night, the Garden of Eden, we're going to whoop your ass. And we're going to take the C1W Tag Team Championships.
Well, Dalton.
I'm not worried about you guys. You guys got to remember, what's the record against your groupies versus my groupies? How many times has the Stud Budz, singles or tag team action, defeated?
Hey, we're undefeated, Dalton. You know that. We've never lost to you. We've never lost to you. We're undefeated, pal. You know that. Look it up.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, it's
Well,
true.
Dalton,
I know it's true.
Dalton, on Saturday, the challenge has been issued to you. The challenge has been set forth to you. So where do you guys go as the Stud Budz? Because as you see, he's already got him as the new member of the Gabe Walters family. So can you make it work? Can you make it work for him, knowing that you're going in now as full-fledged enemies?
If he's already made up his mind to go with the Goob Walters, I don't think there's any way that we can, move on. I think I'm at the point now where I'm basically looking up resumes for all of our, our other people at C1W to find a good tag team partner. Oh, what is she doing?
Miss Danielle has joined.
Who invited her?
Hi.
Who invited her?
I miss Danielle.
How are you doing tonight, Miss Danielle? We've got a little rivalry going on here for Saturday night. They're talking against each other right now. What are your thoughts on this rivalry that started in between Dalton Blake and now the Gabe Walters family with Cameron Coxx, the Pied Piper of professional wrestling?
I think we're all tired of the Gabe Walters family.
Ooh, that's a rough place to be.
That's right. It's rough. And only the toughest survive here. You got to be strong. You got to be tough to make it in the Garden of Eden.
Absolutely. And I do agree with you, Gabe. I think that you have to be the toughest. You have to be the roughest in order to survive. But with your stipulation, you may not be the toughest or the roughest to survive. And you've got somebody in your corner that might not be able to do it. And you have to give serious thought and consideration to that. This is career versus career. Luke Patterson has had your number in the past. Is he going to have it again one more time?
Look, I'm not going to tell you this again, Joseph. With the Pied Piper of professional wrestling on my side, man, the Gabe Walters family has absolutely nothing to worry about. I know that this man is going to go to war for me. The killer, TK Arden, is going to go to war for me. With me as their general, dude, conquest is already over.
You're more like a corporal than a general, sir. And if you continue to have that mindset, you'll be the first one walking out.
You're right. We are going to be the first ones walking out because Frenchie Riviera and luscious Luke Patterson, they're going to be left laying on their backs in the center of the ring, counting the lights after they get pinned. 1, 2, 3.
In the past, though, Cameron has lost. Pied Piper's lost to Luke. How are you going to overcome those unincredible odds against you?
You're still stuck in the past. Maybe you are a mark for Francie and Luke, because you're stuck in the past just like they are. But that's okay. That's okay. Go ahead and doubt me. Go ahead and doubt me. It's nothing new. I'm used to being doubted. And I've always put those doubters to shame. And that's exactly what I'm going to do on December the 30th.
Excellent.
The Gabe Walters family is crumbling as we speak.
Crumbling.
You guys add your newest members of the Gabe Walters family every couple of weeks. You guys run through partners like Cameron runs through crack needles, okay? It's just in and out all the time, all right? All the time.
You use a needle for crack?
I guess you could. I mean,
that's a good one on me, brother. I'm quite experienced. Use needles for a lot of shit. Never crack. Never. That's a no-no, sir. I'm gonna have to call your bluff on that one. And
well,
just so you know, shut up. As far as needles go, the only thing we are injecting ourselves with leading up to December 30th at Season's Meetings is positivity, power, determination, and ruthlessness. Dalton Blake, this Saturday night, you're going to get a little taste of what Luke Frenchie can expect on December 30th. December 16th, it happens for you and your tag team partner.
Miss Danielle, tell us a little bit about Championship One Wrestling, where they can find you, what the pricing of tickets are, and everything that goes along with the wrestling business there.
Yeah, so we're at 130 McDonald School Road in McDonald, Tennessee. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8 p.m. Tickets are $8. 5 and under are free.
5 and under are free, guys. So that means you all can bring your children to this family-friendly event and watch the Gabe Walters family lose and him have to walk out of the business forever.
Look, hey, you said 5 and under is free, right?
Yeah.
Dalton, you can bring all your groupies, pal. It'll be a banner night for you, buddy. They can all show up. Just
Where's
wait
your
till
rebuttal,
Saturday
Mr.
night,
Dalton?
Dalton. We're going to whoop your ass like a redheaded stepchild, son.
And just in case no one mentioned yet, on the 30th, we will have Action Mike Jackson and also Johnny Swinger.
Action
nobody
Mike
cares
Jackson,
about
huge
them.
name.
Yeah, you beat Johnny Swinger. Hell, I beat Mike Jackson 20 years ago. Bring them.
Who's living in the past now, Gabe? Who's living in the past now?
Those are conquests. Those are missions we're successfully completed. This Saturday night, we're going to add one more to the victory board.
Sir, I can build a doghouse and tear it down. That doesn't make it a conquest.
You know what, man? When I speak, people listen. And when I speak, it becomes truth. Why don't you bring your ass, Mr. Journalist, to 130 McDonald School Road this Saturday night in McDonald, Tennessee, to the C1W Arena, and I will introduce you personally to every member of the Gabe Walters family.
Will I get a signature?
Oh, I'll sign something for you. Don't worry. We're going to write all over you, pal.
I look forward to seeing you there, sir.
He's
Thank
all
you.
talk, no action.
Just
All
like a
talk,
chihuahua,
no.
all talk, no action.
All talk, no action. Cameron, tell them about action.
Actions speak louder than words. And I can sit here and talk until the day is over with, till the night is gone. But I'm going to let my actions speak louder than my words will. So show up, be there, because it's going to be the last time you ever see Luke Patterson or Frenchie Riviera in a professional wrestling ring again.
I hope you're right, but you've got somebody else to worry about, and he's over in the other corner over here. You got Mr. Dalton Blake to worry about. Did you forget
Dalton,
about
who's your
him?
tag team partner this weekend?
What?
Who's your tag team partner this weekend?
I'm working on it. Don't
Oh,
worry.
you're working on it. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because I roam the locker room like a shark, bro. I haven't heard anybody willing to step up and be your friend.
Just give it time. Trust the process, okay? I've got a couple of people in mind. I could always give AMJ a call. He did save me that, a couple of
Hey,
weeks ago.
wait. Look, he's not a tag team wrestler. He is a singles competitor only.
I beg to differ,
Yeah,
sir.
that
It doesn't matter if you're in the business, you're in the business to win. It doesn't matter if it's tag team or singles competition, you're in the business to win. And I'm sure that he would love to have a champion and have a championship pedigree with him in Mr. Dalton Blake.
Championship pedigree. It's the only belt you ever won. And you had to weasel your way to get to that.
Yeah. Race carried you to the tag team titles.
Race.
Don't worry.
Ooh.
Don't worry.
Ah,
Gabe Walters is going to carry him to the C1W championship. Something you could never do, Dalton. You broke your word. You promised that man that you would stand by his side and take him to the top. Make him C1W champion or C1W Mix 104.1 champion. But what did you do, Dalton? You did what you always do. You stepped in front of him. You put yourself before the talent, Dalton. Instead of being his friend and his supporter, you had to be the one to come in and take the victory from Ray Steele. You had to be the one to hog all the glory. When are we going to hear Ray Steele talk, Dalton? You take the microphone at the beginning of every match.
He tried. He tried, I promise. But he can't.
Well, I
Rome
promise
wasn't
you
built
this
in a
Saturday
day,
night,
okay?
you're going to see a
Rome
different
wasn't
Ray
built in a
Steele.
day.
Yeah.
I'm the one who deserved those tag team championships because I'm the one that did what Race can't do. I can perform.
Wow.
and
See,
he
that's a
can
rough
talk.
spot to be. That's hard to argue with.
And your
What-
breath must stink kissing your own ass like that, Dalton.
Mm.
Yeah. That's awful. Awful, man. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You call this a PG show, a family show? All
Hey,
you're
I ain't
thinking
said a
is
dirty word this whole
selfishness
time. I
and
ain't said a dirty word this
conceitedness.
whole time. I don't want to hear it.
Listen, sometimes you got to chase the glory. You got to be a glory hound. And sometimes you got to know when to give and take. And what happened was at that cross and that turn, there was no give or no take. The animosity had already set up with Mr. Reese. And we've got to move forward from this point in time forward and figure out a way to get those tag team titles back to where they need to be and back to where they. And if we don't, then we've only got two options, guys. Is it going to be Mr. Cameron Coxx, the Pied Piper? Is he going to be able to take them away from you? Or Dalton, are you going to be able to stand up and be a man? You might have to be by. It might turn into a 3-on-1. Are you ready? Are you prepared for that if he decides to go ape on you again?
At this point, it's whatever it takes to keep those belts around my waist. No matter what kind of partner I have to find. If it's somebody that I've known for 20 years, if it's somebody that I just met yesterday, those belts are staying with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the mindset you've got to have, but you're going to have to find somebody. You got to get the mystery man, whoever it is. It doesn't matter if it's somebody like Peppercorn that's come back to help you. You got to get somebody to come back and help you.
Yeah. Like I said, at all costs, they're staying. They're not going to Cameron and whatever goof that he gets. And Cameron, you've got your guarantee, and that's my guarantee.
You heard it here first, guys. We've got two different guarantees from two different teams, two different people. Miss Danielle, interject a little bit. Tell us about it. Tell us what you think, how you feel.
I think whoever Dalton decides to pick, it'll be a good choice.
Well, Dalton, it's on you. It's on your shoulders. You're going to have to pick somebody. You may have to end up teaming with him one more time. Just one more time. It might be a good thing for you. It might be a bad thing for you. But we're going to find out Saturday in McDonald at 8 p.m. Correct, guys?
Yes. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8.
You heard it here first, guys. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for being here. I appreciate you. And remember, Gabe, you've got the most to lose this week. So you better make sure that your boys got it together. Because if you don't, that's it. That's it for you. You're leaving, buddy. So you got to make sure you're doing whatever it takes. Do you have any dirty tricks in the book that you can still pull out of that old dog and pony show you got left?
Joseph, I'm not going anywhere. I don't do parlor tricks. And unlike you, I'm no charlatan. The Gabe Walters Family is the real deal. Show up Saturday night and watch as Gabe Walters Family adds the tag team championships of C1W to our collection.
Strong words from a little pathetic little man. Strong words. You can't even back them up anymore, buddy. So you're going to have to be there in order to find out if it's going to happen or not. Thank you, guys, each and every one of you, for coming on the podcast today. I do appreciate you. Thank everybody for coming in and being with us. Cameron Coxx, I'm going to give you one more chance. With Luke Patterson going to be right across the ring from you. The man's had your number. How are you going to beat this man? How are you going to get him?
By climbing up to the top rope and hitting the fall from Grace DDT. Just like I've beaten him before, I'll make it happen again. And that's a promise from the Pied Piper.
Promises from the Pied Piper. Are they going anywhere or not? You guys decide. We'll see you next week on next week's Wrestle Talk. Thank you guys, each and every one of you, for being here. And we're going to see you Saturday at McDonald, 130 McDonald School Road. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Y'all have a wonderful night.
It's been your pleasure, Marks.
Go take a bath, Gabe.
Thank you guys very much, each and every one of you, for joining the podcast as well. We're definitely going to come back next week and be here, and we're trying to get everything settled for that. I definitely would love you to be here. But before you go, if you need any electronics, you need anything, we are sponsored by Temu. All you have to do is go right this site right here, the temu.to/m/UGW6JI9UTR, and enter the promo code at the bottom for an additional 30% off. That's AW00320. We definitely would love to have you come by anytime. time that you're there. Catch the next show, like I said, at 1:30 McDonald School Road in McDonald, Tennessee. And that's going to be doors opening at 7 o'clock. And the show is going to be starting at 8. Children under 5 are going to be free. So we definitely would love to have you guys come out. Thank each and every one of you for being along for the podcast today. And I hope to see you guys there. And until next time, come join us. And if you're watching out there in TikTok under the Camel Toe Adventures channel, and you're watching on Kick, and you're also there on YouTube, and you're watching on Daily Motion, wherever you get this at, we'd love to have you come and be a part of this as well. So thank you all, each and every one of you, and we'll definitely see you Saturday. Bye, guys. Y'all be safe.